to Artist in Recovery. It's 4:25 in the morning, West Coast time for Friday. It's still the 25th of October, 2024. So I take it things are going a little bit slow for you because now you're doing celebrity chasing at this point. What do you have to get in mind? We got things happening regarding the politics you could have been going crazy over. So could I, but I'm getting overloaded by the damn crap. But when I saw this story concerning about it was last month when I heard about this one woman getting dragged out of a town hall because she was trying to tell the people how screwed up and corrupt they were, and they demonstrated by um, trying to take away this woman's civil rights, the First Amendment. The video gets leaked and sent out, and they get national, and they don't care. It's like, well, the First Amendment doesn't apply here to us, basically. Well, a federal judge, actually, with a county judge, has said, "Are you out of your Vulcan minds? First Amendment applies here." I mean, I'm putting this into a comical situation over here, but still. And if that wasn't bad enough, you heard about the onion shit happening out here in California. Salinas, one of the farms out there in Salinas, sent their onions out to Colorado for processing. Hell, they could have processed the damn stuff out here for the locals. But no, right where their E. coli outbreak was Colorado and a few other states surrounding it. But the processing plant was out in Colorado. And McDonald's had the food scare, not to mention Taco Bell had it, not to mention Pizza Hut and there was another one, KFC. They're saying no to the onions. Not until we get this squared away, because this particular vendor has got E. coli coming out, and we don't want it. And already McDonald's has already got several cases as it is. Not to mention lawsuits happening because of this one. That could have been something for you guys. You could have had a food scare out there in the New England area. Something happening to your own food sources being contaminated, and then you guys having an issue over that one. You could have had it that one. But out here, it's almost becoming commonplace. And that's terrifying enough as it is. I like McDonald's on some occasions. And I use onions a great deal out of the store. I do my own cutting and I do my own processing here. I use them all the time. Pipe cleaners. But it's also flavor, especially when I'm doing soups and stuff. A lot of ramen noodle soup. But that's got me concerned because I also do taco smell. I would prefer Del Taco. But they would also have issues with it if they get it from the same vendor. And then there's Pizza Hut, which I'll afford once in a great while. Domino's would be the closest thing I'll be affording as pizzas. But once in a great while, I get a hankering for a Pizza Hut. If I can afford it. I just have to balance these things out. Meanwhile, they're still going after each other on the major news. The closer we get to the finish line, to November 5th. Oh, by the way, are you doing the mail-in or are you doing the walk-in? I already did my mail-in a couple of weeks ago. I already got the response from the county. I'm registered. My vote counts. Yay! I'm happy with that because I voted. Me voted. It's a 3-mile walk to the only drop box we've got in this whole lousy place. You know I've taken you through Google Maps a few times, right? Here we go again. Darryl, Artist P in Recovery. Or is that Darryl P, an Artist in Recovery? How is that supposed to be there? So, Mr. Artist in Recovery slash Darryl P., shall we go to the Google Maps? Type it in, pal. Rosamond, California. We got to do the walkabout. Meanwhile, I got to get me some breakfast. Keep my stomach from going insane on me. And next, I'll probably have to get up and get my coffee rocket on this one. Not just yet. Still got to scrub it out. You got there yet? Oh, wait until you get there. You find it yet? ROSA, M as in Mary, OND, California. Put it in the search engine. There you go. All right. We start off at the edge on the far east end, next to Edwards Air Force Base. That lovely dry bed that you see out there. That desert. Well, the major portion of community is on the western edge of it, and it's on a street called United in Rosamond Boulevard. From that point, now if you can get the Google map on the distance, it's about 2.5, nearly 3, isn't it? Miles. From there, all the way over to the west end, which we're heading over towards 35th. Now, I start out from 35th. And I go for the directions on this one because I want to get the mileage on this thing. So, my location for that. Walking distance according to the computer, because it has its own gate there. And basically, it's a 2.5 mile walk. Well, for some people, and you, it's no problem. I haven't been out of the house in a hell of a long while. I still need to get into that damn shit. In order for me to get somewhere from home to at least to a place called Sierra Highway, it takes me about half an hour. To you, it would probably take about 10 to 15. Take about half of that with your gait. When I was a lot younger and a better body, no problem. 2.5 miles would be no problem for me. I did that all my life. It was no problem. You get older, you don't take care of your body, you fall apart, pieces. Yeah, that's on me right there. And it's almost 2.5, 3 miles on this one. This is the only drop box we have in the whole area. Now, you've widened this shot before when you looked at Rosamond, didn't you? You see how large the community is. For 20 to 30,000 people in that one little area on 35th and Rosamond Boulevard at the county library is the only area we've got for a drop box. Now, we have residents out here who can't get around as much. Maybe they're lucky enough they got caregivers. The rest of them actually have transportation to get around. I don't have transportation. Except the 2 lakes, and that's about it. That is transportation right there. And when I was actually able to get over to the college campus physically, I would go over to where Albertsons is, which is about 25th, and no, not 25th. Past the 14 freeway, they would have the bus area over there, right by Taco Bell on where the hell was that again? Oh yes, Eagle Way. Okay. It's a bit of a distance. Changing direction here. Get that off. Now, from that area to home. Okay, so basically that changes. Oh, come on. Natter, 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 natter. Alright, I need to get that damn thing off. Okay, here we go. Try this again. Yeah, I'm gnashing my teeth and nattering in this one. Natter, 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 natter. Gripe. That's 15. I don't want the 15th. Let me get past the 14th freeway. All right, let me get over there. Okay, bus stop. No, directions from there to home. Okay, if I was walking at your particular gait, if you're a good fast walker or bicyclist, it'd be no problem. And it would be about half an hour, right? Not for me. It took me about an hour and a half because I needed stops. I would need stops to get over to gas stations, at least one over to 14, and do the restroom break there. Not to mention picking up some coffee. But it would take me about an hour and a half just to get over to Albertsons anyway, to that bus stop, to get a bus to get over to where I need to get to. But shorter, about a little further away to the west is our library. And that's where we're doing um, all the drop box we have out there in the front, where people can just pull up, shove it in there, and get the hell out. And if we have any issues regarding it, we also have. Oh, look, we got sheriff's department out there and a fire station. How about that one? Ain't that nice? Get a whistle and blow for their attention. That's a hell of a long walk. It's a hell of a long walk that I have to go to. But these are the areas I have to deal with. Now, instead of walking a 2.5 mile over there, it'll take me about an hour and a half on that. I could simply walk outside to my mailbox, drop the damn paperwork off, and that's it. Of course, I did a video and put it on my own channel for that one. Probably among shorts, but not this time. I had to do some editing of myself. I'm not worried about other celebrities, what they're doing, how they're doing it. I'm not getting monetization over the damn thing. I don't care about the damn monetization. I'm comfortable doing what I'm doing right now. I don't like stepping in that kind of routine when I got to be dependent upon everybody else and their public opinion. I really don't give a shit. If they watch me, they watch me. If they don't watch me, they don't watch me. I put this out here originally, but I may have to modify that a bit. I've been doing a hell of a lot more videos with other people that they can see than what I really need to do is public. Because there's a lot of things concerning about this crap we're going through through the politics. This is driving me nuts. I know you've got a personal vendetta somehow against the old gas pack. Me, on the other hand, I didn't like what he was doing to our country then, and not right now anyway. When Obama was running in office, he was going after him. Years earlier, when we actually had out in New York City, Central Park, 5 guys got arrested, charged for rape and murder. But down the road, they got proven innocent. But one of them was racist enough, putting up ads and putting out feelers telling them that these 5 guys, which were black, were responsible. And they weren't. They weren't. All because some guy had a burr up his ass. I said before, he went after Obama on this one regarding the birth certificate situation. He's not American. He's this, he's that. Yeah. His actions speak louder than anything else. I was trying not to throw up every time I kept saying the news article concerning about J.D. Vance and his bullshit, not to mention the rest of the Republicans. Well, I'm sorry, the Trumplicans out there. And then old Trump himself talking of his shit. And he still is. It's going to get a hell of a lot worse. I can't deal with him. I can't deal with him. I think these guys are full of shit. If that isn't bad enough for you, shall we go further into national? Or how about international? I bet we're getting closer to World War III. You haven't been keeping up with foreign policy. You haven't been keeping up track of what's going on. And sometimes, yeah, I do depend upon the videos on YouTube. I have to be scrutinizing of these things. If they're coming from legitimate sources, if they're coming from legitimate areas, then this is scary enough, especially when some of the local networks, and not the private locals, the nationals are picking up on this shit. Korean Peninsula is getting involved in the Ukraine war. A while ago, Russia was making deals with anybody and everybody who can supply them arms and personnel to continue fighting Putin's insane asylum temper tantrums. Well, what else would you call it anyway? It's been going on for 2 years already. And he's not giving up on his bullshit. So he goes to Korea. He wants their soldiers. He makes deals with Kim Jong-un. So now he's going to get soldiers. He's going to put them in the front line. He's going to give Un technology that's going to help out against the South Koreans. Keep this in mind. How well do you know history? You're scratching your head on this one. I know you are. What happened in the Korean War back in 1949 to 52? Nice bloody conflict. We had United Nations having a world war over there. It ended with an armistice. It didn't end with the laying down of arms. The 38th parallel, was it the 38th or 58th parallel? 38th, I think. Became the the DMZ, demilitarization zone. I gotta get my wording right on this one here. It's the buffer zone. You cross it, you're going into enemy territory. We already had defections happening on both sides. North Korea is overseen by China, but North Korea is still its own little empire there. South Korea is still a democratic nation in itself. But the war is not over. They never declared it war over for anybody. So it's still a hot, active war zone when necessary. At least on one side or the other. Putin made a deal with North Korea. North Korea is going to utilize that against South Korea. If it affects China one way or another, China better get involved, because if they're not, they got enough issues as it is. If that wasn't bad enough, I look at the Google Maps and I'm looking at the world at this point. I'm looking at the entire globe. I could scroll it all the way over towards the Far East. I could see Asia. I can see issues just looking at it. See that Japan is in controversy with China. Japan wants to change its constitution to where it's going to have more militarization. See, they couldn't have it after World War II. We made agreements with Japan for them to end their conquest. Otherwise, they'd be having another nuclear bomb on it, actually, another atomic bomb on their ass. And they kept it on defense. But now they can go offense if they choose to change their constitution. And why not? Take a look at the territory that China wants to take over. You look at the seas, dude. You look at the territory. How this is going to affect everybody. You see the Philippines, the islands of them, Taiwan. Well, Taiwan's still in legal zones over here. But you have Vietnam, you have Cambodia, Thailand, the Philippines, Malaysia, Indonesia, Australia, having issues concerning about this whole region here. China's expanding. A powder keg. A powder keg in the Pacific. How you feeling now? We already know about India versus Pakistan. But we also have more of the issue regarding the Middle East situation getting worse and worse. If that wasn't bad enough, the ongoing situation in Ukraine. I mean, pick an area that isn't newsworthy, cringeworthy, topic filled, just enough to drive you insane. Pick an area. I don't care about people like Britney Spears. She's got her own life. She's trying to deal with it. Let her deal with it. Or a Jelly Roll. Let him have his life. Or anybody else you've been trying to pick on. To me, they're non-existent. They're non-consequential. Unless they're going to stick themselves into the political realm. Taylor Swift. She's already put into there. Some of the older farts, though, I used to watch are Trump fans. The Trumplicans. Steve Garvey is running for a Senate seat out here in California because of Dianne Feinstein's departure last year. Because of her death, it's shaken up actually earlier this year, had shaken us up. So now we got 4 people running for it. One guy I never even heard of. Katie Porter is representative. Adam Schiff is representative. And then we got Steve Garvey, who's never been in politics before, only in business. And he thinks he knows something about Senate? Oh my God, he's an idiot. He'd been a baseball player for a hell of a long while. He'd been a businessman. But working with the community? I haven't heard him being a community leader or joining a community service. There's no records I could find just yet on that. But I'll find if there's necessary on that one. But he wants to represent California? No. I'll deal with Katie Porter and I'll deal with Schiff if necessary. But I ain't dealing with that lumnucks. When it came down for baseball, that's one thing. But and we're still reeling over Fernando Valenzuela's passing. There's another news story to talk about, but you don't have the LA experience on this one, my friend. I could be talking about it like every other damn fan out there in LA, posting their own stuff on Facebook regarding this crap. And yeah, I do have the Dodger shirts because I got Dodger shirts. I'm a native. I was born out here and I was born in the city and county of Los Angeles. So yeah, Dodgers are our culture, their heritage. And there were transplants too back in the 50s. O'Malley took them out from the East Coast to the West Coast. Just so we had some sufficient baseball teams out here. I mean, we already had the California Angels, we already had the San Francisco Giants. I think they were also transplants as well. Not to mention getting the Oakland Athletics, which now are becoming Las Vegas. God. So other than that, I look at the picture of the globe, dude. I never thought it when I was a young kid what kind of perspective I would have today. I always wanted to get the hell out of Dodge. I couldn't deal with it at home. And now my own territory is more important to me than anything else. Where I came from is where I am. I mean, yeah, I could travel if I had the money for it. Buy a train ticket or a bus ticket to go somewhere. Not yet. Not yet. The world is going to be as it is right now. And we are still dealing with everything else going on in the world. Individual things, individual people just sometimes just doesn't matter as much. A few do actually to me. But I stayed out of the worshiping celebrities. They're just as screwed up as we are. They're just as opinionated as everybody else. Let them deal with their own life. I'm dealing with mine, and I'm dealing with the world's situations right now. We'll talk later.